Hey everyone, I'm Sledding, and with me is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
And welcome to Amped 3. Amped 3 is, of course, the third in the Amped series of snowboarding games, and the final game in that series. It was released in 2005 as a launch title for the Xbox 360, and exclusively for Xbox.
Insane.
And we're in for a pretty interesting ride here. If you do know the game, you know that it has some of the wackiest, craziest stuff you'll ever see, and if you don't know, well, you're gonna want to look forward to some of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but here we go.
Hoping to find out today.
I don't know, dude. Sounds kind of sketchy.
Nah, it's all good.
Nice gear! Hey, nice ears!
Hey, wait right there! You want to get jacked by a rabbit?
Aw, they're just jealous. I'm jealous.
Yeah, you look good.
You know, pink is the new black.
Sorry, dude. Bring it on, wiener boy!
Hey, chill out, my brother.
Okay, no more caffeine for Wiener Boy.
So, you ready? I can't believe you're doing this. You couldn't pay me enough to wear that thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, wow.
Of course, the trope we've seen a million times of, put the character in a giant mascot suit, anonymous mascot suit, so that you can get a little gameplay before character customization.
Okay.
But yeah, this is just kind of setting the tone. Not only is there, like a story now, but you're with your crew. Tag yourself. Well, actually,
We're
I'll
all
tag
Wiener
for
Boy.
you. We're all Wiener Boy. Yeah.
Oh, Wiener Boy. Is this the kind of thing where the crew is really annoying, or are they cool?
I guess.
Or are
we'll
they
see.
somewhere in between?
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
How's it feel being back in the saddle?
It feels pretty good. Pretty good.
Roger that. Mitch here. You want to know my
You got a bunch of kids headed your way. Another frickin' funny suit. I'm guessing they're going for the death drop.
10-4. I'm on it. No,
Later, dude! Woohoo! See ya!
Hey, Mitch, how's your mom? Oh, bye, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Would Goofy be applicable, or does that just age me? I don't know.
think
That's
that
something all the
ages
kids
you.
are saying nowadays.
Is it?
Yeah, but I don't know. There's some signs up there about like death or whatever, but that won't stop me because I can't read.
Wow! What a drop! Are you okay?
Everything alright? Did you break anything?
I think we're good.
Then quit laying around. We'll meet you after you change.
Yeah, rock! That was awesome!
And that's how I met my new special friend. My name's Dandelion. I'm a Scorpio. I love rainbows, unicorns, and all other living things, except chickens. I went through kind of a wild phase when I was younger, but now I'm just wild about scrapbooking.
You're killing me here, man! Cutscenes suck! That's better now. See, I made this one game, no cutscenes. It was the perfect game. I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for those meddling snowboarders. Now that I think about it, I should have made a rollerblading game. That would have been pretty sweet. What? Losing my hair? No, I've been bald for years.
We're off the air.
Oh, we're off the air?
Amazing, unbelievable things that would happen. But this story isn't about me.
It's about you.
Wow.
Yeah, so Amped 3
Let's do it.
is wildly different than the previous two games. Both in terms of mechanics and such, as we'll see when we get into gameplay, but yeah, also in terms of tone. While the previous Amped games, well, didn't really have a tone, it was just gameplay, you know, get out there, play the game. Maybe there were some goofy things in there, like the snowmen that would, you know, taunt you to find them and hit them. Here, again, the cutscenes are going to be crazy, featuring all sorts of different animation styles, you know, not just in-game stuff, but there, as you saw, that kind of South Park-esque sort of thing. Some cutscenes have, you know, stop-motion action figure kind of thing. Some are just so much of a fever dream that, again, I don't want to even try and describe what you're getting into. But, yeah, then it's also going to be kind of, you know, irreverent and a little goofy as well. But, here, with the character models, this is where, you know, they're really showing this is the power of the next console generation. I don't know how to describe it, but, you know,
it looks like a launch title for the 360.
But it actually still looks good. Like, sure, I'm playing through HDMI, you know, but...
Yeah.
But I'd say the graphics hold up.
I mean, like, the thing about the 360, or any launch title, they want to push the limits of what the, basically they want to look like they're pushing the limits of what the previous generation could do. Right, so it's like, does this look like the best 360 game? No, but it was also a launch title, right? So, what is awesomeness? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, that will be the system taught to you in the tutorials and such.
Okay.
So yeah, even just through these main menus, I mean,
I do
you
like
can also see
this, you know, like the menu aesthetic of like it sort of shifting around and like tabs coming up in an interesting way. I think that's cool.
Right. And so of course I will be, you know, customizing my rider throughout this, but I didn't want to spend a while, you know, doing it right here at the start, especially when your clothing options are more limited, you know. Let's just get into the gameplay. And by that, I mean, here is the video tutorial on how to handle the new open world.
Oh my god.
Yeah, if you remember the previous two Amped games were just like, hey, at a level or area, you know, you could start from several drop points, but that was sort of it. And then also each challenge was, you know, its own selectable thing that you had to select that. But here, you can drop onto the mountains and ride down to whichever challenge you want to do.
Wow.
And
jumping on the open world bandwagon long before it was even a bandwagon.
Yeah, it's actually going to be kind of surprising, some of the things that Amped 3 does here in 2005 that feel almost like, you know, they were more popularly introduced a decade or so later. Okay. You know, in games like Steep or, you know, so.
So ahead of its time, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool, okay. Is this just a video?
Yeah, this is just a video.
Oh, okay. So
as you could tell by it being rendered at like 360p.
Yeah, I was wondering if I needed to put my glasses on or...
Yeah.
It really is a little bit of an eyesore, actually, with the blurriness.
Yeah.
Though, at least the UI elements on top are in full res.
Be a lot. It can be a lot to take in. Especially, you know, all these different colored circles and such. What do they mean? What does everything mean? Sure, they offer you a legend, but like when a legend pops up and there's still 15 different things on that, you know, it's kind of like, whoa. But I mean, yeah, they put this together really well, as they just showed at the end. If you select something further down the mountain and have to start at a drop point, it'll have a little rainbow over where you actually go. So, all right. We finally get a moment to talk about gameplay, and I wanted to give myself a moment here because otherwise the start of the game is pretty much like cutscene after cutscene after cutscene.
Like a Kojima game.
And so again, like I mentioned, the mechanics, the actual mechanics really changed from Amped 1 and 2 to 3. Like, they went, again, in the entire opposite direction of where Amped 1 and especially 2 were about really understanding what you were doing and really getting it down so that you were in control of, you know, your flips and spins and such.
Right.
Here they've made everything basically like kind of canned animations, or your tricks are done now with button presses.
Oh.
So if you go off of a jump and you just push, you know, up left on your control stick, you'll start a cork. Kind of like in the SSX series, where, you know, you could just be in the air and just hit directions and your guy will do flips at regular speed and such. And now, instead of the right stick being, you know, kind of related to what hand and what side of the board you grab in sort of that intuitive system, now the tricks are like, while in the air, hit X to do a trick, hit Y to do a trick, hit XY to do a more advanced trick. But, and also, a really weird thing is that with rails, the game tries to auto-put you on rails. And you don't have to hit a button to start grinding.
Okay.
But you do have to still balance.
Okay.
There will be more to the rails thing, as you'll see.
So you'll click onto rails, but it's not going to, like, gravitate you there.
So, almost none of what Amped 1 and 2 taught you applies to Amped 3. Which does mean it's more accessible. The game is a lot more accessible than Amped 1 and 2, where, I mean, hell, if you're not really good at extreme sports games, or you're a young person or so, Amped 2 can get so hard that you probably can't progress to the end.
Yeah.
Amped 3 fixes that, but it does still feel just weird how different it is. I guess you'll kind of have to play for yourself to see if you enjoy this or not, compared to what was there before.
Hey, I've been looking all over for you. We're all meeting up with Wiener Boy. He's got some big surprise for us.
Let's do it.
Follow me, and try to keep up.
Huh. Wienerland, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take Wienerland.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is now going to be... I chose to do, like, a run down the mountain before going to the tutorial area to, again, give myself time to actually talk about the gameplay. But,
okay.
You know, here is where you're gonna learn the various systems. And, hey, it wouldn't be a mid-2000s game without a follow mechanic.
Sure. Yeah.
For a few challenges, you know?
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny what you see is included and whatnot. But yeah, welcome to Wienerland.
Hey, buddy.
Dudes, thanks for coming.
So what are we doing, Wiener?
Oh, nothing. Just a little thing I like to call...
Wienerland! It's the radical new snow surfing action playset that provides hours of jibtastic fun. Included are action figures you can pretend are your friends and make them say whatever you want. Here's J-Dog.
I'm rad.
Hunter.
Stop looking at my butt.
Sebastian.
Bro.
And everyone's favorite little snow surfer, Wiener Boy.
Dude, I swallowed a nickel.
That's quite a crew, but isn't there someone missing? Why, yes, it's you! Looks like Wiener Boy's ready to go.
I sure am. We'll start with a mellow jump. I got a new bag of tricks I've been working on.
Now, how about grinding the Wienermobile for bonus points?
I sure am glad I got my tetanus shot.
Good advice, Wiener Boy. So who wants to go next? How about you?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was very different.
Let's do it.
I wonder what the budget was on this.
Yeah. Or like the kind of system, workflow.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
Obviously, it takes a lot, you know, takes more time than just having some in-engine, you know, little cutscenes of like, hey, follow me, you know.
Or like cartoon cutscenes, yeah.
Right.
Sometimes they do that comic booky thing. Not necessarily in this game. Oh,
right,
shit.
and obviously, like, there's a lot to it. You hear all these sound effects and such as well. They're really weirdly constructed.
Good job, WB.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
Are we done yet?
I don't think so, J-Dog. Not with a picnic table, a sacrificial altar, and a bunch of other crap. Things are about to get rail-orific here at Wienerland. Nothing impresses like a nice long jib.
You're incredible, Wiener Boy. I think I'm falling in love. Thanks, Hunter.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, so this is going to show that kind of rail magnetism. Where again, you need to control your balance, and you can also determine, when you jump off a rail, what direction you go. When it works.
Yeah.
But the game is going to want to keep you on that. So that's now continuing, like, the last 4 years now where I haven't played a game with, completely normal grinding.
So, dudes, are we having fun yet?
Well, kids, it's time for the big finish, and I do mean big. For a limited time only, the terrifying sled jump of death, sold separately. This is some kamikaze sledding action, down a windy track. Hold on now, this is full contact sledding. Ouch, that looked like it hurt. Just look at those gnarly flames. And then you blast off, straight at the tires of death, and into the pile of evil gnomes.
I am the Gnome Slayer! Fear me, if you dare.
Those cutscenes remind me of, wasn't it in? I think it was in the show All That. Didn't they have like a variety hour thing where it was? Man. I think there was some kind of stop motion thing with like Melt Man and.
So you're not confined to just your snowboard.
Okay.
Here, I don't know how I passed that, but actually, we're gonna have to talk about this afterwards.
So, dudes, what'd you think of Wienerland?
It was alright. Most excellent, WB.
You should charge admission, make some money.
Hey guys, since we're all here, I was counting our cash last night. We've got about $5,000. So if we're going to Chile, that gives us about a month.
Sí, vámonos, South America.
Yeah, boy, land of the Incas.
Or maybe we'll just get everything for free for the whole season.
Dude, are you serious?
Yeah, what's the catch?
Well, I've been talking to a new sponsor. I'll fill you guys in later. I got people to see. Catch you guys at the egg roll.
Later, J-Dog. I totally forgot about the Easter egg roll.
First prize is another $500 in our vacation fund.
Dudes, we can win that easy.
Okay, we'll all meet up at the egg roll. See you guys.
Hasta lumbago.
Well,
alright, so we saw a little bit there with the sledding. So Amped 2, sure, it had like snow skate, but otherwise, you were on your snowboard.
Right.
Here, Amped 3 is part of, again, it's kind of wacky, irreverent, sort of, whoa, look at all the things you could do, is going to introduce a bunch of things like that. Like, yeah, you can sled if you want, and several types of challenges are specifically about doing that, and like either crashing yourself and getting huge bales or trying to navigate down through a path. And so I will say the best and worst thing about Amped 3 is how much it adds. And sure, that sounds like a cop-out, but for like so many of the things that it adds, like sledding, or spoilers, you'll be able to go, snowmobiling, stuff like hang gliding, stuff like that. There's elements of it that can be enjoyable and fun, and also elements where it's all these systems that were obviously not, programmed to be buttery smooth and whatever, and that they are going to sometimes force you to interact with some real jank and such, and so
yeah, I think that was another thing that games of this era were kind of all about, just like a wide variety of modes and a wide variety of different activities and things like that. A lot of open world games were doing that, or in the 360 PS3 era.
Right.
I don't know if that's necessarily a bad or a good thing.
Yeah. And so now again, you'll find the challenges just like along the mountain, and you'll need to ride down and select them. And some of them are, pass or fail, where it, makes sense, like, hey, beat this exact high score or not. But a lot of them have, medals. You can get a bronze medal or a silver or gold based on how you do. And of course, doing better gives you more, respect and more money. And so again, that's the way that Amped 3 is more lenient and allows basically anyone to play, because you can make it through the game getting pretty much only bronze medals.
Okay.
There's enough challenges to do that, but also if you enjoy the game and enjoy what it's doing, you'll want to do the different challenges, because, the rewards there will be more, objects or more music or, improvements to your riding ability. So, yeah, again, that's definitely a good thing. A game should not require you to be good enough at it to, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but again,
execution shouldn't be a requirement.
But again, like Amped 2, I could definitely see points where if you're not good enough, you just can't continue progressing. And that is, I don't think that's something you'll run into in Amped 3 at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's nice. That's a lot more forgiving.
Yeah, and I also want to talk about definitely the one kind of design standard thing that they did keep from the previous Amped games is the massive soundtrack. This game, Amped 3, has over 300 songs.
Good lord!
Which, like, the previous Amped games also had. What they did here was instead of going and getting the latest, Godsmack or Disturbed or My Chemical Romance song, they instead went to more minor record labels and got 3 to 5 songs each by 5 different bands for that same money. And, so it's, again, like a huge soundtrack, which has introduced me to a bunch of bands that I wouldn't have heard of otherwise, because again, minor labels, like some of the bands were like at the start of a bigger career, you might have heard of some names like Anne Berlin or Painted Black or especially Under Oath. But there's a lot of music otherwise that kind of would have been forgotten by now.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
While I enjoy the, I guess we'll say, guitar music genres more, like rock, alternative, emo, and all of them sort of gravitated towards this Vans Warped Tour kind of sound of the times. Hey, that's still a mood. Yeah. That's still a vibe, and that's pretty nostalgic.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just also kind of funnily enough, several bands that I was introduced to completely separately from this game are in this game. So it's almost kind of like one of those, feels almost telepathic kind of things, where it's like, whoa, of all the bands, like Cartel or The Forecast or The Kite-Eating Tree. I know you're probably just sitting there like, I don't know any of these.
Never heard of those, but...
Blake, for example, Blackout the M&M introduced me to The Forecast, and we both really, really like that. So, yeah, definitely check out, like, the music in this game. Like, the song you're hearing right now is by a band called Cruiserweight, which I heard from this game, and I really enjoy their album.
Hi, dude! What you say we hit the backcountry? I'll wait for you at the top of the lift.
Okay.
He made you go all the way down here to then go
right
back up?
down here to get a cutscene of him telling me to meet him back up.
Alright.
It only does that, like, a few times.
I mean, it's not like you have to walk up the mountain.
Right.
Huh.
So me and Wiener, we were talking about this J-Doc thing. Feels kind of sketch to us. I say we stick to the plan and do our own thing. How about you?
I don't know, the whole season? That'd be cool.
Either way, be nice to win the Easter egg roll and get the $500. That's why I brought you up here, to prepare for the competition. I'm gonna show you my special place.
You hitting on me, big man?
Oh, I love you, dude, but not that way. I'm taking you where I've always go to cleanse my mind and become like butter with the mountain. It's all in here. The magic, the mystery, and some recipes. We are going where the snow is deep and the powder is fresh. But first we must pass through the gate of self-awareness, which is guarded by the horrible demonic demon.
Hey, Sebastian.
Hey, Todd. Can you let us through?
Yeah, I suppose I could grant you guys clearance for that one.
That was close.
Can I ride with you guys?
No. Maybe later.
Okay.
Before beginning the journey of illumination, awesomeness, and powdery goodness, one must unfritter the mind with the long-forgotten ritual of Off Kiltara.
Darkness.
Beware
darkness,
Eltorg,
darkness,
the Dark Lord of Black Darkness. in Adrid, the five-fingered.
Darkness, fingers.
Interesting that Ajarid looks like a Hindu god.
Yeah, that everyone knows that guy, who just drew in his notebook, drew the cool sketches. Sebastian definitely has a D&D character,
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is gonna be more tutorials. I decided to put them kind of at the end of this part because no one would sit through them if they were the start of part 2. But they'll teach you about stuff, again, if you're not you haven't played the previous games or know a lot of extreme sports stuff, like the off-axis spins. You can't only flip or spin, you can do, the diagonals, corks and such as well, and then he'll also get into more mechanics through the rest of his sort of thing here in the backcountry.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Where is it? I know it's... Okay, here we go. We voyage to the Slash Mahal, the crusty snow fortress and eternal prison of Frizurg, god of lightning and ice.
By the way, are you cutting out the loading times?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
The game, loaded the mountain range when we first started, but now everything in there is...
It's just moving along.
Just moving along, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, for, butters and nose butters, they've also added a bunch of ground tricks. You can also hit, X, Y, B in different variations to do a bunch of parkour here on the ground.
See, that's a good one, bad one, almost there. This remnant of the ancient Mongolian scroll is the only clue to this mystical style maneuver. It must be done exactly so, or risk utter obliviousness.
Wow. 47.
Evil, yeah.
Evil,
yeah. Alright, so here is the return of the style mechanic.
Okay, I was gonna
remember
ask.
from Amped 2, you could, do a flip or spin and halfway hold the stick to, do it slower and more stylish. Now here, once again, just like all the other animations, this has become sort of an all or nothing thing, where if you can get the control stick, halfway through or whatever, it'll start the style where it'll slow things way down and you'll be doing that. But it's not like in Amp 2 where there was sort of a range to it. There's more to talk about the style, but I'll have to do it after this cutscene.
The final passage of your voyage of enlightenment is a mystery of the ancient Orient. This is totally one of my best drawings. The dueling serpents of Fangar. We must carve a path of perception. Follow me as closely as possible.
Evil.
And of course, I'll have to talk about any of these mechanics after we introduce even more. In this game, you can carve through deep powder by holding either left trigger or right trigger based on if you want to turn left or right, and then turning. So yeah, you see
deep.
carving if you can, do the smooth turns while holding that. You can get points while just, riding and carving.
Okay.
I don't really do it while just free riding, but there will obviously be challenges and goals where you need to carve.
And it gives you the ability to move left and right.
Yeah.
My work here is almost done. All that remains is the ultimate test of those who would be illuminated. One cannot hold back. You gotta give me 110, maybe 115%. I mean, seriously sick hang time to escape the icy sting of the spikes of meteorocnuses and touch the face of the snow gods.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
And of course, the final thing you need to learn is how to jump.
What, really?
I don't know why this is the last tutorial, but yeah, just jump to get the most hang time. I will say that overall, for a thing you'll be using so often the entire game, I mean, extreme sports games are about jumping.
Right.
This does feel a little awkward. Like, it always, sometimes it feels like you get a lot of air, but often it kind of feels almost like sort of sticky. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like,
Like you're sticking to the ground?
Yeah, like you jumped through a few inches of jelly and only got half the height you were expecting.
Oh.
Sweet, you did it. Let's ride and celebrate the awesomeness emanating from thy buttocks.
Yeah. You know, I had a real, that reminds me, I had a real Mandela effect kind of thing the other day. You know, I farted, and then, like, sometime later, I realized I actually pooped myself.
Whoa.
Or there was poop. I don't think, I whatever, man.
I
think I teleported into another
effect.
dimension where there was poop in my pants.
I don't think, there's no way you just shit.
No, not at all.
So, are you thinking you maybe universe hopped to a universe where you would shit yourself?
Yeah, I was...
Because they were still in your pants.
Right.
Okay.
It was seamless. So, okay, back to style, because, you know, back in AMP 2, the style system, they put so much emphasis on it, like so much focus, and it worked really well. On, you know, when you used first-party controllers. If you didn't use the first-party controllers on the Xbox original, you know, had, again, more of that mid-range to the analog sticks, where it wasn't, you know, nothing or everything. But, like, in AMP 2, and I'll get to AMP 3 eventually, but in AMP 2, like, if you play that backwards compatible on an Xbox 360, even with the first-party controllers, the style feels a lot harder to do. Because I think the controllers themselves for Xbox 360
are less sensitive.
Cut down on that kind of mid-range that works to where it really is like you have to find the exact amount of, you know, between dead zone and the very side where the game registers it. And so here in AMP 3, it kind of feels that same way, and maybe they knew that, and that's why they changed it to be this sort of, again, all or nothing, where, like, you're not styling until you hit that halfway through, and then you're suddenly going in slow motion, and the game makes a big deal out of it.
So there's basically, like, 3 types of spinning. There's full spinning speed, there's style, where you're spinning at, like, half speed, and there's not spinning.
Right.
Instead of, like, a smooth gradient between them. It's okay.
And there's also more to complain about with the styles. I do not use style in AMP 3 nearly as much, because, like, in AMP 2 as well, you were not locked into doing it. But, like, if you're flipping in AMP 3 and you start styling, you have to go through that full flip.
Okay.
Which can be challenging, you know. Back in AMP 2, even if you're styling really well, if you realize, like, I actually need to finish this flip or I'm going to crash, you can continue to, you know, push full forward again, and sure, you'll lose your style, but you'll land.
Right.
Here, sometimes it's like, you know for quite a ways out that you're fucked, and you just have to sit there and wait for it. It's, again, like,
weird.
So many systems where no one of them was as fine-tuned as AMP 2, but I guess there is still a lot here. But yeah, we're starting up on us and our crew's snowboarding journey.
Wow.
So join us next time